It's Sunday morning, May 24th, 2020, and I'm in Coconino National Forest. Not particularly close to anywhere, except I'm on a plateau above the West Clear Creek Wilderness area. I'm devoting today to being stationary around camp and just relaxing and enjoying this beautiful natural setting. Right now we have crystal clear blue skies and the temperature is in the upper 70s Fahrenheit. I've got my gaiters on for the time being because this tall grass wreaks havoc on your socks. I spent the better part of 2 hours last night picking the little dealies out of my socks. It's a little too hot out for Gore-Tex gaiters, but my socks are thanking me right now. There's a trailhead nearby, down into the canyon, and in fact there's half dozen other people here. I'm just camped a little bit up the hill from the trailhead. I think I'm going to head down into the canyon tomorrow and see what I can find down there. Look at that. It's like pure joy in a bun. I'm out of burger patties, so I have to get more. It's Monday morning and I'm taking my boat and some overnight gear down into the canyon just in case. I honestly don't know what to expect, so I'm probably overpacked. I did see pictures of this place and there are in fact pools of water down in the canyon. I don't know if there are enough to justify the boat, but at the very least it allows me to practice the concept of a pack raft. Yay. The weight on my back isn't so bad, but the terrain is very steep, and I might as well be hiking on marbles. cold. Cold. Whoa. As it turned out, the boat was a necessity. All aboard. Wow. Oh, this is so awesome. Oh, wow, a fish. Oh, man. Just so you know, I'm not down here alone. I've already been passed by two groups, and they didn't have boats, they had inner tubes, like you'd use in a swimming pool. While I totally have too much gear with me down here in the canyon, I was happy to put some of my lesser used equipment to good use. I'm extremely pleased with the Kokopelli pack-raft, and without it, this whole thing wouldn't have been possible. It definitely would not have been possible to bring this camera, since otherwise swimming would have been required. I was also very pleased with my Gregory Baltoro 65 backpack, because it easily accommodated all my gear. And on top of that, I fell probably about a dozen times, twice in the water, and the bottom of the backpack where my sleeping bag was stored got wet. But I got my sleeping bag out and it is perfectly dry. I thought for sure I was in for a cold and uncomfortable night. Other than that, I'm happy to use this ground tent again. This is the MSR Hubba Hubba NX 2-person backpacking tent. And yes, I did say Hubba Hubba. That is what it's called. There's not going to be any Hubba Hubba. One thing that I'm a little bit bummed out about are my brand new Salomon Tech Amphibian 4 hikers that I just got last week. And I really want to like these, but they did not withstand one adventure with Chris. This hike, which I estimate to be about 2 miles one way, took me over 5 hours yesterday for the exact reason that you're seeing here, lugging the boat. But this morning I put my proper camera away, so I have less gear to lug around, and I'm being extra careful. I fell so many times yesterday, I was completely demoralized. I made it back to the Jeep. It's 4 p.m. on Tuesday night, and I left my campsite down in the canyon at 8 a.m. and I got back around noon, so it was a good 4 hours. I made better time than yesterday. By the time I got back here, I was dead on my feet, and I just sat down in my chair, enjoyed a cold beverage, and just stared blankly into the distance for like 2 hours. Despite my exhaustion, the overnight hike was well worth it. The waterfall by my campsite was beautiful, but I think my very favorite part was taking the pack raft through the narrow canyon this morning. That was stunning, especially in the morning light. It's Wednesday morning. I'm giving the floor of the screen room a chance to air out. It's not very wet, but it's a little wet, and I'd prefer to have it all dry before I put it in its bag. This came in extremely handy the past few days because the bugs are out. Not mosquitoes, but gnats. And tons of gnats were swarming my legs. I've got bug bites all over. It looks and feels like poison ivy because it just itches horrendously. But it is absolutely bug bites. Despite my discomfort, I still prefer swarms of gnats to swarms of mosquitoes. It's 8 a.m. on May 27th, and we are mobile again. My goal for today is simply to find shade. I'm going to head in the direction of Pine, maybe Payson, Arizona, and see what camping opportunities I can find. I'm going to need to resupply groceries very soon, but by the end of the week I really want some comfort food. Maybe a big old burrito or a pizza that's covered with various meats, or at the very least a Crunchwrap Supreme and a Baja Blast. Hitting pavement for just a little bit, so I'm taking them back to street pressure. Probably about 35 psi. I was just running them at around 15 psi. After airing up my tires, I made my way south to Pine, Arizona. And after a quick grocery run, I found Old Country Inn wood-fired pizza to satisfy my craving. And as you can see, I've already indulged in the pizza, which I would describe as a large, wonderful puddle of grease with a side of meat lovers' wood-fired pizza. This was heavenly. And now I'm greasy. So after a short stint in town, I made my way back up to the mountains, and right off the bat I found this great dispersed campsite on the top of a plateau overlooking the valley to the east. It's Thursday morning, May 28th, 2020, at around 8 a.m. and it's a beautiful day. This morning I'm out touring and exploring Tonto National Forest near Pine, Arizona, and it is an endless labyrinth of forest roads in every direction, so this is a great opportunity to just wander. This afternoon I'll return to the town of Pine to wrap up the week, and I also got a room for 2 nights. Tonight and tomorrow night. I've been in the Jeep for 2 weeks now without a shower, so I'm gonna clean myself up, and that is gonna feel great. Also, I'm gonna use the room to edit and publish this week's episode that you're watching now. I'm traveling for a short distance along Mogollon Rim Road, which is a scenic dirt road that spans from west to east or east to west, overlooking Payson, Arizona to the south. It's a stunning route if you're in the area. The road's gravel, but it's smooth and it seems to be well cared for, so you can drive just about anything. I just had to stop and take it all in. It's 1:30 in the afternoon, and I am finished exploring for now. I'm on my way back to Pine, Arizona, where I'm going to settle in for the next few days. The views along the Rim Road are absolutely staggering, and it goes on for miles and miles. I only really scratch the surface of it. And the backcountry in this portion of Tonto National Forest is equally beautiful. I could get lost in there for months. It's Thursday night and I'm at my room in Pine, Arizona. I'm already all freshened up and I feel great. I even reheated my leftover pizza, which I'll get to in a moment, but first I'm gonna call that a wrap for the week. I'm not quite sure how next week's gonna go down. I want to make a push toward the Rocky Mountains, or at least in that general direction, but I'm not sure if maybe I should get the Jeep looked at first. I'm not having any problems with it, although it is due for some general maintenance, but I don't know. I'll figure that out before the end of the weekend. In the meantime, I hope you all enjoyed this week's episode, and now I'm going to dive into my leftover pizza. I think I'm going to hit this establishment again before I head out of town. I need a napkin.